Do you find that you're always falling off track on the weekend? If that's the case, then this video is for you. My name is Nicole Yee and I am a holistic nutritionist and nutrition coach. And today I'm going to tell you exactly how you can stay on track and win the weekend. Most people are so good at staying on track Monday through Friday because they have that structure from, they have a morning routine, they have their day-to-day job, and then they have those small bits of time where they have to get things done within that. And whereas on the weekends, you have so much time and it's very unstructured, and this is where people fall off track. One of the things that I started doing to win the weekend for myself was to make sure that I worked out on Saturday and Sunday. Every single weekend, no matter what. The first thing I do when I wake up on a Saturday or a Sunday is I usually go for a quick walk on my treadmill or outside. And this is going to help me make sure that I am still on track to getting my steps in, especially if you get them done first thing in the morning. This is also something that I do Monday through Friday. So I try not to change it up too much based on what I'm doing on during the week compared to what I do on the weekends. Because really, when you're trying to lose weight or you have some sort of goal and you're on some sort of a journey, then you have to really string together as many habits as you can, as consistently as you can. But most people on the weekend find themselves sleeping in and then rushing to get to whatever they're supposed to do, or really just binge watching a bunch of shows until they have to go out later because there's no one really telling them what to do. Like, show up to your job, you have to get this done before that. So I can understand why people fall off track. I used to be one of those people that would just kind of lay in bed until I had something that I needed to do, because my weekends sometimes felt purposeless without having to go to work. And then I realized I can start dragging my weekday routine into my weekend. And then if I can do that and stay on track with those things, then I feel like I've won the weekend. So like I mentioned, I first start my day with doing a little bit of walking in the morning, and then I start to transition later into doing my actual workout. And I always make time for that. And one of the best hacks that I've figured out on what to do is to actually just schedule it into my calendar. Because if I don't do that, then I don't know that I trust myself to actually be able to just do that on my own. I need to time block it so that I'm actually going to show up and do it. So really, it's just making an appointment for yourself and showing up for yourself the way that you would if this was a schedule that you had, to meet with somebody else for lunch. Another tip that you can use to win the weekend is to focus on getting your protein and fiber in before you go out. So for example, this past weekend we had the Super Bowl, and we also had a baptism, we also had an outing. It was just so chaotic and so much to do. And so before we left the house, we made sure to have a very rich protein breakfast. And then when we got home, we finished our day with protein shakes. Protein shakes aren't the most ideal, but at that point it was kind of whatever you have to get your protein in, just do it. Doing this every weekend is obviously not ideal, but not every weekend is as busy as that one where you're going to be just smashing a bunch of food because it's Super Bowl. So I don't know anyone who eats healthy on Super Bowl. I'm just saying. So if you can get your steps in before you even leave the house, if you can get the majority of your protein in before you leave the house, the majority of your fiber in before you leave the house, do you see where I'm going with this? You're doing all this stuff preemptively because you know that you need to in order to stay on track. And really, it's not that hard to do any of those things because you already do them Monday through Friday. Here's my last tip, and this one is really important, so please make sure that you pay attention. If you find yourself Monday through Friday being very, very, very good and on point, you want to even call it perfect, and then on the weekend, one of the reasons why you're not winning the weekend is because you have a poor relationship with food and you're just eating a buttload of it, and you can't control yourself when it comes to snacks, chips, desserts, whatever, then this is definitely something that you're going to want to pay attention to. Part of winning the weekend also means winning the week too. If you were able to take the snacking and stuff that you do just on Saturday and Sunday when you're going completely off the rails and sprinkle it all into the week every single day, then it wouldn't be as bad as you eating it all at once. You might find that you're able to just avoid it altogether, and maybe you don't want it as much anymore because you don't have that whole thing in your head okay, Monday through Friday I have to be perfect, or I have to punish myself for what I did on the weekend. That should never be the case. I need to repeat that for you again. You do not need to punish yourself every single day for what you do on the weekend. Instead, what you need to do is you need to make more sustainable choices, and that includes including those treats into your day every single day so that you don't go off the rails on Saturday and Sunday. I totally get it. There are a whole lot of unknowns about the weekend, especially when there's not much structure involved. And that's where it really depends upon what you can contribute and what you're willing to do to stay on track so that you can show up as your best self and win the weekend. And also, like, perfect doesn't mean suffering throughout the week. It actually just means being adherent, being consistent, and being able to show up for yourself. And so I will leave you with this. Find the thing that you're binging on every single weekend. Now take that and sprinkle it throughout the week. So if what you're doing is you're drinking like 3 bottles of wine on the weekend, instead, why don't you sprinkle that throughout the week? So say you're having 14 glasses of wine on the weekend, then you're gonna have 2 glasses of wine a day. Or if you're eating bags of popcorn, have a little bit of popcorn every day throughout the week. This is going to give you the control back that you deserve and that you've always had all along. The sad thing is that most people have just been lied to into thinking that they just need to suffer in order to lose weight and they can't have any of these things. And this is what the problem is and why people have such a poor relationship with food and being able to control themselves. It's not about a lack of control or having more willpower or discipline. It's really about being strategic. Those things are always going to exist. Those things are always going to be around us. So imagine if you had a life where you could incorporate those things into your day every single day instead of trying to refrain from it. So if you like this video and you learned something new, then please do me the favor of liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It does me a huge favor and it's so easy for you to do. See you next time.